Hello everyone, I'm Epicharismatic and today I wanted to do a different type of video. So I've seen videos of people responding to Reddit threads, specifically the Am I the A-hole stories on Reddit, and I thought I would want to do the same because it just seemed fun and interesting. So first I'm going to read the thread, like read the story, then give my opinion, and then read some of the opinions of the Reddit posters, the commenters on Reddit. So let's get started. Am I the a-hole for charging my friends rent, then keeping the money for myself? This will be my first year in college. When I got accepted, the first person I told was my uncle. We're very close because he took care of me when I was little because of my parents' crazy work schedules. Anyway, my grades were good enough to get me in, but not enough to get me any scholarships. That means I'll have to take out loans for tuition and work for my expenses. When my uncle found out, he said I should just concentrate on school instead of working, but my dad, his brother, said that money is tight right now, so my parents can't help me out as much as they want to. My uncle has investment properties all over the place, so he said it's not a big deal for him to buy another one near my campus, which he did. Then, he had contractors renovate the house, so emerging in there is brand new. He even had them install a bay window in the master bedroom just for me, and I got to pick out everything else like the carpet and counters. He told me he wants me to concentrate on school and not work. Instead, I can be his landlady and rent out the other 3 bedrooms and keep that money to fund my expenses. I have a group of friends who are attending the same school, so I made a deal with them. Studio apartments are going between $900 to $1,500, not including utilities, around the campus with the expensive ones being closer. My uncle's house is 1 street over from campus, so I can literally walk to class every day. I'm charging my friends $700 per room, or if they double up, $350 per person per month, and split utilities evenly. They all jumped at the offer, and no one asked any questions until recently, when one of them asked me how much the overall rent was. I was honest and told them about my uncle and our deal. That blew up in my face, because now every one of my friends are calling me greedy for charging them rent, then pocketing the money. We're all in a huge fight, and they all want to either pay nothing or throw a couple hundred in for utilities. I cried to my uncle, but he said now that I'm an adult, I need to make my own adult decision. He'll stand by my decision. I don't want to lose my friends, but I don't want to disappoint my family with bad grades either. I thought I was being fair with rent, but literally all of my friends are calling me greedy as hell. Okay, so this post also has an update, but I will just respond to it just based off of the original story first. So this person is giving her friends a deal for rent for a place to stay at while they're all in college. Honestly, I didn't see her do anything wrong. I didn't hear a single thing that was wrong. Her friends need to look for a place to live at. She has a place where they can live at. She gave them a deal, she offered them a deal and they liked it. They were like, yes, we would love to have to pay only this much compared to how much we would have to pay if we stayed somewhere else. So it's like, she did them a favor. If anything, they should be grateful, you know? And here's the thing, she's not pocketing the money. She's literally using it to pay for school too. But even if she was pocketing the money, it doesn't really matter because she has every right to do that. And also, just because you're friends, to me, friends aren't as close to you as family, unless you are really that close with those specific friends. But you're not family where you're entitled to have someone pay for your living situation. You know what I mean? Or maybe not so much entitled as I don't know. It's like when you're family, you don't want someone to be living on the street. You know what I mean? So if you're really close with a friend to that point, then okay. But even then, you should want to contribute as much as possible. Anyways, yeah, they're really, really entitled. And I didn't see what the poster did. I don't think they did anything wrong. And to call somebody greedy when they're trying to make extra money to pay for school is not even accurate. It doesn't sound right. They really don't have any right to be mad. What, you want to live somewhere for free? Is that what you want? Or I guess they don't want to live there for free. They just want to pay less. But that's business. But then it's okay, but they're friends. So I guess the idea is when you're friends with someone, you're not going to try to profit off of those friends. So I'm trying to see the friend's point of view here right now. And from the friend's point of view, it's like, we're friends. You know how tough it is to find a place to stay at that's close enough to school to where I can go to classes easily, right? And so I would expect a friend to not charge me extra, like trying to make a profit off of this, like it's a business. So I guess the real issue is mixing business with your personal life. And that's where the mistake was made. So I think from the beginning, this person shouldn't have, see, now it sounds shady, but this person shouldn't have had their friends be their roommates. I think from the beginning, they should have offered it to other people. And if the friends ask why, say, well, because I need to pay for school and blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. I don't want to profit off of you guys. You know what I mean? Or maybe from the beginning, tell them, hey, I have this offer, but like maybe that could have helped and they would have never seen this person as greedy. And it kind of depends on where these people come from, because like if they come from a culture, I guess that's more Eastern, where like it's not normal to expect to profit off of things like housing and food, like that's kind of given to you almost, then I could almost understand their point of view. Even then, it's like you're only friends. Like again, to me, it's like unless you're best friends to the point where you're damn near family, I don't see how you would expect, super special treatment or anything like that. But again, giving them any sort of benefit of the doubt, maybe I could understand like, oh, it's a little weird that this person is trying to profit off of me and I'm a broke college student and they're my friend. So I can understand some level of not animosity, but hurt feelings. I can understand a bit of it now that I'm talking through this. But from the perspective of the original poster, they're definitely not the asshole. I'll say that. Definitely not. But like when I first read this, because I gotta be honest, I already read this before I read it for you guys right now. But when I first read this story, I was like, I don't see anything wrong. I don't see anything wrong with what they did. But this is me being an adult who's kind of used to the real world in terms of like having to pay for things and understanding how business works when it comes to charging a bit more so that you can pay for things that you need, stuff like that, like making a profit, but not just to spend on luxury, but to reinvest it into something else, like the way OP is gonna reinvest this money, not even reinvest this money, but just use the money that they're making off of the rent of their roommates towards school. Because like America's kind of set up in that way where you're really gonna thrive and you're really gonna make it financially if you do stuff like that. So as somebody who's out of college, has been working for a bit, I understand that kind of mentality and that mindset, and it makes sense to me. But if OP's friends like hasn't been hit with the real world at all, which it sounds like they most likely haven't, it's gonna feel like greed to them. It is gonna feel a little bit like a little gross to them, So I can understand, and this is giving them the benefit of the doubt. If they have no experience with the real world, everything's been paid for them growing up, and then especially if they come from a more Eastern collectivist kind of culture where not everything is for sale in the way that it is here, if that makes sense, then I can understand their perspective. And that's giving them the benefit of the doubt. But again, like even with the benefit of the doubt, they're still going too far. And again, I don't think OP is at fault. So I'm going to start reading some of the replies to this post and then say my opinions on those too. So the top comment says, "You're not the a-hole. They're getting a great deal, but instead of focusing on that, they're seething with envy. Your uncle didn't buy and renovate that home so that your jealous friends could have a free place to live. He invested in that home so you could have a place to stay and an income while you're in school. Don't back down, OP. Your friends are not entitled to a free roof over their heads just because you have one." And then somebody replied to that comment and said, "OP's friends are entitled AF. They're getting a great deal, one they cannot get anywhere else, but they want more. The idea that just because you own something free and clear, you can't charge rent, that's a lunatic notion. The use of real estate has a value separate and apart from how that real estate is financed. There is also a lesson here for OP in the problems of mixing business with personal relationships. Being the landlord for your friends and family can be tricky. Not always, but it's also not rare. It's not best practice. Yeah, so that's kind of what I was getting at, is that this person is engaging essentially in a business arrangement with their friends, but not being clear enough with the friends that this is a business arrangement. The thing is, again, when I first read this, I was like, oh, like from the beginning, they're giving them a deal, and the friends are like, oh yeah, I can handle this deal. Like, I'll take it. So to me, when I first read this, I was like, okay, like this is a regular business exchange. But again, the friends are young. It sounds like they're all just starting college. They're just starting to kind of get into the real world, but not really. And so they probably didn't view it really as a business interaction the way it really was. They probably did view it as, oh, a friend is helping me out. And that's just an issue of miscommunication at that point, or like it's just a misunderstanding, you know? I actually think OP should talk with their friends and be like, listen, I'm sorry I didn't make this clear enough, but our arrangement in terms of us being roommates is a bit more of a business arrangement than me doing you a favor. It's not me doing you a favor by any means. It's me engaging in this sort of, and obviously you wouldn't say it like this because this is not how you talk to friends, but you'd be like, hey, listen, I need to make enough money to pay off for school. My uncle is helping me with that. And this deal that I'm giving you guys, it's like I'm trying to give you a good deal, something that will help you out in terms of having a good place to live at while you're in college. But I do need to be making some income so that I can pay for school. Like, I guess say it in a way that's honest, but not opportunistic. Because I think because it wasn't made super clear to them from the beginning, it feels like this person's being opportunistic. And again, this is me giving the benefit of the doubt because, like the first comment that I read was saying that your friends are jealous, essentially. So it's like as if they have negative intentions when it comes to how they're interacting with their friend now, with OP. But even giving them the benefit of the doubt and assuming they are good people, and they're not just angry of just pure envy and jealousy and that's it, I could understand them feeling some type of way, again, considering certain circumstances maybe applying here. Because we don't know the full story. Even with this story, we don't know the full story that's going on. And it's funny because I was talking about this story with a friend of mine and I was like, the thing with these Am I the A-hole posts is that whenever you're hearing a story from one side, you can almost always agree with whoever's telling their side of the story. Like, you can tell a story in a million different ways. That's why there's the saying that there's 3 sides to every story: my side, your side, and the truth. Because the truth is, people will usually, when they tell a story like this, they're just telling their own perspective. They're not giving the entire story. And already we're not getting the entire story with this. And I don't think that's a bad thing. But I'm considering that when I'm judging this situation. So the way these couple comments that I just read are saying that OP's friends are entitled and all this stuff, that very well could be true in the worst case scenario. In the worst case scenario, that might be the case, that they're just jealous and envious and entitled, like they think that they should just get a free ride. But you should consider possibly the best case scenario, which is they thought that this situation was a friend being able to help them out. So they're not expecting to pay quote unquote extra to help that friend pay for school. They're thinking, oh, this friend has this uncle that like has a property that's not valued as highly as like the other properties around the area, so we can only have to pay this much for them to maintain the property. Like they're thinking, oh, this is a favor that's being done, not this is a business situation where my friend is trying to profit. And that's, I mean, again, like I think it is, if that's the case and that's the situation, not the situation, but if that's where the friends are coming from, the roommates, I can understand them feeling a bit, a bit uncomfortable with the situation, feeling some sort of way about it, and feeling that OP is kind of shady and opportunistic. I could see that side. But that being said, I would say still, I don't think OP is the a hole. I don't think that. But like, based on what OP said about their friends, I don't know if the friends also suck. Like, I can't really tell. Again, because of everything I said, that might apply to this situation. So that's where I kind of disagree with the comments, is that the friends might not be these just jealous, envious people who want to be freeloaders. That's what it sounds like because we don't know enough about the friends to know if that's the case. Does that make sense? I hope that does make sense. I'll read a few more comments and then I'll go back to the update. See, yeah, like this comment says, your uncle is teaching you a very valuable life lesson. The question is if you will learn it. There will always be freeloaders in your life. How will you handle them? So, like, again, they may be freeloaders, they may not. I can't really tell based on what's been told in this story by OP. This one's funny. You're insane. Just replace them and charge the same rent for other people. I mean, they definitely need. OP definitely needs to have new roommates because this situation's not good. It's not good, like, if you're in school and you're trying to get good grades so that you could succeed in life, to have people around you who essentially view you as somebody who's greedy and who's, like, viewing you with hate, or at least with anger. So, yeah, I do agree that they need new roommates. Not the a-hole. You gave them the hand and now they want to take the arm. I'm sure they will regret it when they get evicted and have to pay much more. Again, it's like I could keep reading these comments, but essentially, until we know the full story about how these friends actually are, how they grew up, and all that stuff that I mentioned earlier, we can't really know if the friends are freeloaders and people who are just filled with envy, or if they just misunderstood what their friend was doing and now feel almost taken advantage of. So it's hard for me to say that the friends are super at fault the way a lot of these comments are saying on this Reddit post, but I do agree with them that OP is not the a-hole. I keep repeating that, but yeah. So let's read this update. All right, update. Thank you for reading my post and giving me advice. I went to my uncle, this time without crying, and told him some of the advice given on here and asked him for his advice. This time he didn't tell me to make my own adult decisions and told me he was waiting for this conversation. This is what we agreed to do. I texted all of my friends, parentheses, former, that's kind of sad, but okay, and told them because of the arguments and hurt feelings we could no longer live together. My uncle offered to work out a lease for me in the beginning, but I refused because these were my friends. Because no one signed a lease, we didn't have to break any. I was worried about them suing, but my uncle said that the law in our state requires anything to do with real estate be in writing. Unlike other situations, real estate deals cannot be oral, so I'm good. This time I took him up on the offer of creating a lease for me to have new tenants sign. We spent the morning researching rent prices and making ads. My friends and I made the agreement at the beginning of the summer. Now that there's only a couple of weeks left until school starts, we found almost nothing within 3 miles of campus. There were some other options further out, but nothing was cheaper than $1,200 for a shared room, and that was in an old house with window AC units and 5 miles from campus. When the house was being renovated, my uncle had central air and heating installed. We came to a rent price of $1,300 and placed ads in several places, including Facebook. Within an hour, I got a dozen messages. It's 4 p.m. now, and I literally have over 100 messages. Many of them don't even need to see the house in person. Based off of the pictures and location, they want to submit their application today. Some even offered to send me the deposit, and one person said her dad will pay me the full semester amount today. My uncle gave me some advice that was exactly what you guys said. Never mix money with friends, or I might lose both, and never tell anybody my business. He told me not to lie, just keep quiet. Thanks again, and have a great weekend, you wonderful people. Yeah, so that's the big issue right there. This person mixed money with friends. And especially the big problem is the friends didn't know that money was involved. Again, in the sense that this was a business interaction and not a favor being done. I think it's possible if the friends knew from the beginning what this situation was or what this arrangement was, maybe they wouldn't feel the way they feel. I can't say that. I don't know enough about OP's friends to be able to say all that. I really don't know. I'll read a couple more comments for you guys. So this one says, yes, the a-hole. Whenever I rent a new place, I always avoid anywhere with the live-in landlord because to me, that is a very uncomfortable power dynamic that I don't want in my home. Having a live-in landlord who was also my age and my friend would be even worse. You took away that choice from all of your friends by not being transparent. This sounds like a hellish dynamic to me. You're in college. What are you going to do when your friends want to throw big parties and you see people damaging furniture or breaking fixtures? What will the conversation look like when one of your friends spills coffee on a rug? There's no way any of my friendships could survive that. Then this person replied to that comment saying, see, to me, it's yes, the a-hole because OP wasn't upfront with their friends. And OP is charging $700 a room, which is only $200 less than the cheapest studio near campus. That's not an insane enough discount that would push me to want to share a bedroom and a kitchen and living space with X amount of other people, including the live-in landlord. And they are paying for utilities OP uses and contributes nothing to? That's wild. I'm not saying they are entitled to free housing on OP's uncle's dime, but OP should have been upfront and let them make the decision to move in knowing all of the facts, in my opinion. ETA, just so you decided to kick your friends out right before school starts, what an insanely nuclear option to go with because you are too cowardly to try to resolve this with your friends. You should have gone to your friends with these new contracts and given them the choice to sign or go. Seems like you didn't even give them a warning you would do so before making the executive decision to just do it. This is exactly one of the reasons one would have an issue staying with the live-in landlord in sheep's clothing. Also, no shit there's no nice places in the area to rent 2 weeks before school starts. Trying to act like some weird property savior is wild just because your nice house is becoming available when all that's left is slim pickings. I'm sure at the beginning of the summer there were other nice properties available besides yours. Good luck this semester after proving them right about the greedy bit. Next time, prob best to take your uncle's advice and keep your mouth shut. Okay, that comment is very, very harsh. I kind of agree with that. Wow, this is actually a complex story. Like at first I was like, nope, not the a-hole, definitely not the a-hole. But if the friends were right, if the friends, I mean, not if the friends were right. If the friends aren't these negative, jealous freeloaders, then OP does seem kind of wrong. Yeah, this is what I said earlier. The issue is OP is acting like this is a regular business arrangement with friends, but they didn't do that from the beginning. And they did make it worse by being like, okay, I don't want to live with you guys at the end of the summer when there's like no other options. That does make it worse. I do agree with this comment in the sense that OP should have been like, listen, I'm sorry for not being transparent, but this is the situation that's going on. This is the best that I could do for you guys because I'm using this money to pay for school. I'm not just pocketing it just to be able to live in luxury. We don't have to do this next semester. Like, we could just do this for this semester because, like, where else are you guys gonna go? Or at least, like this person said, like, give them the option. Just be like, you know what? I'm sorry for not being transparent. I don't like the situation that we're in right now. I would prefer if you guys could find another place, but it is the end of the summer, so if you can't do that, we could still have this arrangement if you want it. If you want it. You get what I'm saying? Try to be as civil as possible. Apologize for not being clear that this is more of a business arrangement than, again, like a favor between friends. And yeah, like, I don't think this person's greedy. I think this person has an issue with understanding their friend's point of view. Again, I think the friends are coming at this from a place of, this is a friend of mine helping me out. Not giving me, like, how do I say this? Again, I don't even think that they're expecting to live in the place for free. I think they're expecting to pay what the house is valued at. So, like, pay for the utilities they're using, pay for, you know, like the mortgage or whatever else it is, you know, like pay what's fair, but not the extra that OP is then gonna quote unquote pocket. I think that's the issue that the friends have. And that's why they're viewing their friend as greedy. Because the friend from the beginning didn't say, hey, here's what I have. What do you guys think? From the beginning, being transparent with them. I think they very well could have, I think they very well might have wanted to be roommates with OP if they did that. So, yeah, again, that's what I was saying earlier. It's hard to tell the character of all of these people based on one person's telling of the story. It's really hard. But if the friends are bad friends, then OP is really not the a-hole. But if the friends are not good friends, but you know, like if they felt the way I claimed that they feel, or the way that I postulated that they feel, then OP kind of is maybe at least a bit of an a-hole. I wouldn't be this extreme as this comment, but they're doing things that are kind of wrong. Yeah. Yikes. This is a bad situation. Ugh, yeah, this is an issue of mixing business with friends and family. And again, no, the biggest issue is them not being transparent. I think that's the biggest issue of the story, and I think that's why the friends are really pissed off. I think the friends could have possibly not have been pissed off, or they may be the envious, jealous type, but we don't know. Like, we can't tell if that's what they are, or if they're just pissed because this person did something in a way that seems kind of sneaky, you know? So it's like, it's hard for me. I need more information, honestly. I actually need more information to be able to definitively be like, no, you're not the a-hole, or yes, absolutely, you are the a-hole. As far as I can tell, it could go either way. I actually think I need more information. So, oops. I didn't mean to not have a conclusion to this. I didn't mean to not have an opinion, but here I am. You know, I will say, I think it's better to not be able to have an opinion because you don't have all the information than to just kind of latch on to certain bits and pieces of information and be like, yes, this person's the a-hole, or no, this person's definitely not the a-hole. The truth is, at least for me, there's not enough detail here to be able to say either way. I see both sides of this, unfortunately. I almost want to comment on this and be like, hey, like, I need more information about this story so that I can really decide if you are or not, but I don't know. I may do that, I may not. We shall see. But yeah, that's my overall opinion of this situation. Let me know what you guys think, if you guys agree with me, if you disagree with me. If you agree on certain points or disagree on other points, let me know. Let me know the details of all of it. Let me know what you guys think. And if you like me reading these Reddit threads of Am I the A-hole and hearing my opinions on it, I would love to do more videos of this because this is so interesting. Some Reddit stories on Am I the A-hole are like kind of stressful for me. Like, they seem really deep and really emotionally charged. I feel like this one is one that I can handle. So I might not do a bunch, but just let me know if you guys like it, if you enjoy it. I would definitely make this a series. But yeah, so if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to my channel. And I hope to see you in my next video. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Peace.